Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. With me is my buddy Chris again. Welcome,
Howdy,
Chris.
guys.
In the man cave today.
NorCal Studios.
So, many of you probably know James Grady. If you don't know him personally, you certainly know his voice because he was the master MC at the Red Bull Bay Climb, one of my best performing videos. Also, Mission Crit.
For any fixed gear fans.
Fixed gear crit in San Francisco, gnarly fixed gear crit in San Francisco. He's this super cool dude. He's ambitious. It seems like his goal in life is to get butts on bikes. And by the way, he's really good at that. Every project he's had is super successful. And he has a third project now, which is Hustle City. What is Hustle City? Well, it's a video game, and we had a chance to test it. Grand Theft Auto on a bike.
Pretty much. I mean, you could pretty much describe it straight up as that.
Yeah. And we're excited to talk a lot more about the actual video game, Hustle City. But what the developers need right now from you guys is your support. They need a round of beta testers for this thing to even continue. And it's a lot of fun. So I want to see this thing continue. It's super easy to register for the beta, to sign up for the beta. RideHustleCity.com. And that's really what's going to push this thing on to the next level. All right, so when they set out to develop this app, they weren't just trying to make a video game. They had much bigger goals in mind, right, Chris?
Yeah, that's what got me excited about it. When I heard about the project, it wasn't that, oh great, now I get to sit on my trainer and play a video game. It was them leading with the idea that can you develop a better digital experience than riding in the real world? And that's a huge question, right?
When they pitched that, I was like, what?
Right. But I think like the thing that, you and I have been talking about is it means more than just developing a way of riding a trainer indoors or even replicating the outdoors and bringing it in, right? It's bigger.
This isn't Zwift, right? So like Zwift, they're trying to simulate riding outdoors, and it seems like they're always trying to refine their drafting algorithm, and you're still on a race course and you're still obeying loosely the laws of physics. They are like, we're going a different direction with this, and I'm really excited to see what is this going to look like 30 years from now.
Yeah, like that's, for me, again, like that's what makes it so exciting. It's like in 30 years, what is this? Is it a completely out-of-body experience, total Matrix, Minority Report, total recall thing where you're plugged in and you're taken somewhere else? Or is it potentially a concept where I could experience what it's like to be a great sprinter like Jeff does because I'm able to see through his eyes and experience how he maneuvers through a pack or a field. There's so many possibilities, I think, for what they could do. And then you take it one step further, and all of a sudden, if you make the idea of riding indoors or of engaging with physical activity exciting, now you're starting to put health into it. And people all over can benefit from that.
Yeah, for sure. I thought when we tried this and they pitched it, I was thinking like the the Oculus Rift. I don't play video games, but yeah, the VR headset, which I would say like if those brands, if those companies are like 10% fitness and 90% video games, this is like kind of the opposite. Like it is more about the fitness, but it's also a video game with a really engaging story. I had a blast playing.
Yeah. So let's talk about what this thing actually is. For one, Hustle City as it sits is a stepping stone. This is a development move for them to be able to explore this concept and see what it is. And they're working off a couple of basic principles. For one, for now, you ride on a trainer. Up front, there's a steering plate that allows you to steer within the game. And then you've got all the other metrics, heart rate and power. Although power and heart rate and all those training metrics really aren't like the end all be all, right?
Yeah, it's mostly about fun. Like you can still see your power in the corner, but it is not like we're not doing intervals on a trainer, right? And they also wanted it to be easy to learn, hard to master, which like
I've never enjoyed watching someone crash a cyclist into the back of a car so much. I didn't think that was going to be a funny thing. Turns out it is.
I wasn't the best at the game. Full disclosure, I crashed a bunch of times on this thing. But I had fun doing it. Like I got into the game. I was good enough to navigate the course. I was certainly not a master, so check there.
And for your training for next year, I think this is going to be your primary source.
No, it's not really designed with like performance in the forefront. And for somebody like me, like so my time is pretty limited, and also I'm a little bit crazy. So like when I am doing an outside ride or an indoor ride on a trainer, like I make those efforts count, and I want to sit down and do like an interval set. This is not for that. This is fun first and foremost. It's a video game, so I could imagine this being really enticing for somebody who, wants to mix in some additional rides for extra motivation in the off season, because that's really what this is about, is like having fun and building that motivation when racing's not happening, it's raining outside, there's ice on the ground, like all that stuff.
Well, to go off that, one of my favorite things that we talked about with the developers was that concept of building the narrative arc. For us, when we go to a bike race, we can do everything right and we can still lose. But in a video game, or in this, make-believe
Total
world, fantasy, you can win every time in the most enjoyable way. So I can out-sprint Jeff, or I can just nip the field at the line as they've been closing on me forever, or you can build any narrative you want. So I think that's something that's really interesting about the gameplay.
They focused a lot on the story, and bottom line is it's fantasy, it's a video game. And this comes back to what we talked about at the beginning, is this is not, the intention of this is not to bring outside riding indoors. This is to make an indoor experience more enjoyable than riding outdoors. This is its own thing.
So I think that pretty much covers it all. We've talked about the game, the mechanics, how you steer the thing, and really where it's going, which that's, for me, that's the big reason to support it. Answering that question of, can you develop a better digital experience than riding in the real world? All of a sudden we're the movie WALL-E plugged into VR headsets, not going outside anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever. We won't be tan anymore. Yeah, take that, tan lines. So what do we need people to do?
Go sign up for the beta. It's ridehustlecity.com. Give them your support, provide them your feedback. James is behind this. I'm really excited to see where this thing's going to go. So check it out, guys. Chris, great having you on.
Thanks as always.
See you guys at the next one.